Hey guys, I'm going to bring you a teaching that I just received uh, while on my vibrating plate. So, for those of you who have not had physical therapy or any of those kinds of things, in uh, osteopathic, also chiropractic, and physical therapy, a lot of things when bodies have been so injured, to get movement and blood flow back into those areas, they'll have you use a vibrating plate. Now, I purchased my own vibrating plate because I have been taught that it not only helps your lymphatic, but it also helps your vagus nerve activate. So I'm writing it down up here, or I did write it down, about the vagus nerve. So I'm going to talk about the vagus nerve, the vibrating plate, and how that affects your body and healing, and also the power of blood. And this came to me while I was on my vibrating plate. Today, the spirit has been telling me to stay off my phone. And I'm like trying to figure out how I can get recording devices that are not on my phone, because I do not want to be connected to the internet at all. I feel the drain and the pull, especially during this time of healing. And so I'm looking up different cameras, recording kits and stuff like that, because there's a series of teachings that I'm going to be doing based upon what the spirit is teaching me while I'm injured on how to heal yourself. And so I'm going to be creating a course and stuff around this, maybe even a podcast along with Unsilenced. I don't know. I'm just letting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. I'm letting it flow as it comes. But how this came to me is while I was on the vibrating plate, I was feeling everything open up, and the swirling and the energy that is moving down my lymphatic system, and how the swirls of the frequencies were coming in while I'm on the vibrating plate. And then this song, an old hymn, came to me that we used to sing in church. I'm going to sing it real quick. Let me put this down because my microphone tends to, well, I'm just going to do it. If it buzzes, it buzzes, because this is a very powerful drum. There is power, one working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, one working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. The Lamb of God, right? Christ. So I don't want people to be offended by the words that I choose to use for Creator, Christ, Universe, Source, One. I know it's all in the same, but sometimes I'm going to use the Spirit. Sometimes I'm going to use, the word God. Sometimes I'm going to use Jesus, because I've always had an amazing relationship with Jesus. He's like my best friend. And I call him Jesus. I never called him Yeshua. I never called him Christ, but I do know about, the Christedness of everything. So I'm just going to be how I am. To me, the Holy Spirit is Mother Earth. The Holy Spirit speaks through the Mother Earth, Mother Nature. The Holy Spirit is very feminine. Always has been. And it confused me when I was growing up, because it always had a perception that was being taught that it was masculine, and that's like, no. So anyway, so the power is in the blood. And so my vibrating plate, what I'm doing is I'm getting on, people can do the shaking and all that kind of stuff when they're standing up, but when you're in a lot of pain and you have a lot of inflammation in your body, and your body is trying to heal, why does your body get inflamed, right? It's bringing more blood flow to that area to bring healing, right? And so sometimes the inflammation gets so bad with the water that there are blocks for the blood to flow, and little trigger areas, and your fascia starts to get all tightened up in your whole body. It's like not healing the way it could. And vibrating plates, when they activate your vagus nerve, so your vagus nerve comes in from the top of your cranial, and it actually feeds information to all your organs, or the whole body. It's a very important nerve. And the blood is what's bringing all the information, oxygen, and everything to all your vital body parts. So these things are very important. And your vagus nerve, when it's activated, has the ability to bring you calm, bringing you into the parasympathetic response instead of the sympathetic response of fight or flight, into the parasympathetic response of rest and digest. So you need your vagus nerve to be activated, especially early in the morning. And if you're in a lot of pain and you're suffering from injuries and you have like chronic illness and stuff, you're not going to feel like getting up and shaking your body. It's really painful. So the vibrating plate is really good. And I'll actually show an exercise thing with the vibrating plate later on, how I use it, how I stretch with it, how I use it on every part. I'll even sit on it. I'll put it behind my thighs, especially around my calves, because I tend to have a lot of foot problems. They were telling me about how I am hypermobile. I didn't even know that that was a word. I knew I'm very flexible, but hypermobility, I've been injured a lot in my life, in track and in volleyball, basketball, gymnastics, all these things, because I'm so hypermobile that even the ways that I sit it looks double jointed, you know? And so there's injuries because you need to work different muscles in your body to strengthen when you have hypermobility. Now, listen, hypermobility is overly flexible. I'm very flexible. Hypomobility is not so much, right? And so what we want to do is bring balance in the body by strengthening the areas that need support so that you are flexible, but with support. So boundaries. I'm talking about how the body really shows you who you are, right? Then there's people that can't stretch hardly at all. They're very hypomobile. So they have a lot of restrictions. And so their exercises to bring their body into balance is going to need to be more focused on stretching those areas out and becoming more flexible. And they can both learn from each other, those that are hypomobile and those that are hypermobile, just like those that have no boundaries and those that have too many boundaries, or just like no one gets in here, to come into the happy medium of being complete and whole as a human being. This all has everything. Your body knows the score. Your body knows the way, if you understand how to listen from within. So here I am on my vibrating plate, and I'm hearing this hymn, and I was like, oh my gosh. Obviously, the blood is going to all the different cells. It travels around in our body, the entire body structure. It is a part of our DNA and the way that we message and send and all that kind of stuff. And how much healing and information it brings, the information from the heart to the stomach to the all over, right? It's all this information. The webbing, right? The webbing. And so as I'm going in and I'm listening to my blood, I'm hearing it singing. It's like the frequency and the energy, and it's like this. Different ways that I moved, another sound came out of my blood. And I was like, whoa, okay. And it was telling me which areas needed more flow, which areas needed more support, which areas I needed to really protect, and which areas needed to be open more. So I'm listening to my blood singing, telling me the story of my body. And I'm like, this needs to be taught. People see, everybody wants to go to someone else, you know, and it's like, dude, we know this stuff. It's all in here. And as I'm doing this, I can feel the energy flowing just with my own hands, the current, the steadiness, the circular pattern, it's like the portal. It's like a tunnel. It looks like almost like a tornado. The way, you know, if you've ever had Alka-Seltzer and you spin Alka-Seltzer and it makes the little, like the webbing as it's pulled through. And it's so dimensional, that tornado, constantly in movement. But then you're like, there are parts that are like, is it in movement or does it just seem to be moving? Because at some parts it's like in stillness. In stillness, that's where you find yourself. And it's so hard for me to be still. It's so hard I feel guilty about being still. I've never really truly sat down. All the people that come over, they know I'm like Mrs. Flighty. I'm always going to the kitchen and I'm always bringing people water and I'm always bringing them, I was like constantly in service, where everybody else is enjoying visiting with one another. And I was in movement. I did not feel comfortable in stillness. Had a hard time sleeping. I'd stay up sometimes until like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd go into my little adventurous books as a kid. So the stillness is really hard, especially when right now my body hurts a lot, but also I've had issues with eating disorders in the past. I would work out 2 to 3 hours every day and not eat. I was really, really hard on my body because I believed it needed to look a certain way. And I was absolutely miserable. It didn't matter how awesome my body looked. I was freaking miserable. And so now I'm like, don't go with the way your body looks, go with how you feel. Emotionally, even though I am very turbulent right now, there's an underlying current of continuous peace. Like, I do have the peace that surpasses all understanding. I do. And I'm allowing all this stuff to happen so that I can let it flow and do the healing process. And I know with more movement later on, that healing is going to come in and just my body will transform again into not only what feels good, but what is more sturdy to hold the structure and the foundation of this new body that I am developing right now. And to be patient with it as it develops the new structure and the foundation to support the to support the muggles, to support the oh, okay. That's a funny one. I never considered myself a muggle. So anyway, the joints and the ligaments and the tendons and all those things. And so learning that being still is actually what I need, because when you really sit with the pain, that's when it starts talking to you. And you can't heal what you can't feel and what you can't deal with if you're continuously in movement and in disassociation and keeping yourself busy, because that's just another form of disassociation. I'm too busy right now. We're all busy, right? But let's just. And so yeah, I'm looking into investing into some better, more equipment. I do need, and that's an ask too, if you guys want to help support by helping me get this new equipment to where I don't have to be on the phone recording, because the phones do have amazing cameras, but I try to disconnect and stay as far away from the phone as much as possible, especially while my body needs this extra energy for me, because to me, every single time I'm around the television, even just having it off, I don't like the black mirrors. It just tends to pull, like, hello, come in, like the Ring of Power, you know, the Lord of the Rings. Those cubes, the black mirrors. Thank you. See, the cicadas know. They come from deep, deep within. They don't come out all the time, but they'll tell you, they'll back you up. They'll let you know, yeah, pay attention to this part. Black mirrors are serious. And I don't want to be a battery to the system. So really trying to get the right equipment so I can, because I am writing about it. I've been writing a series, not a series, but a book about my life, but also about all the things that I've learned in the experimental phase, because I've always been an experimenter. It's even in my human design generator, human explorer, role model. And now I'm in my role model phase. But I still experiment with everything. Like I love that. I make my own medicines, but before I even try to sell them, I give them out to everyone, and I'm like, tell me your thing, you know, tell me what experiences you go. I was giving them out to people that had pneumonia and even staph infections and just all kinds of stuff that is cleared up, you know, without needing any type of, you know, medicine from the doctors, you know. Creator gave us everything we needed, and learning how to work with the plants, and it's very important, obviously. So important that an alarm goes off. Was 17:17 when that went off. So I just waited. This has already been 17 minutes. Wow. Yeah. And I'm not going to be editing. So I'm done with that, you know, but I do not want to be recording all the time on my phone. I don't want any type of pull to be drawn on me to give energy to anything else, but focusing on this and then being able to ultimately share it with you as I'm pulling myself back together from this amazing injuries that I got during the fall. That has been a gift. Doesn't feel like much of a gift, right? But sometimes our greatest, not sometimes, what seems like our greatest curses is normally our greatest gifts in reverse. And so once we come up from the upside down, we can see them for the gifts that they are, even though experiencing it was really, really hard. Getting to the other side is very tranquil. It just feels like heaven inside. No matter what happens to this body, no matter what happens around me, no one can take the freedom that I feel in here. It's not about where I live, where I go, who I'm with. It's all about how I feel in here. And I am never going to lose this because it was really hard fought for. I had to really seek and go in. And that is also what is incredible about the psoas muscle. Do you know that the psoas muscle is really deep? And so I learned in massage therapy when I was going and taking my training and stuff a long time ago. That you had to move in certain directions. So you'd have to pull them on their side and lift up their legs sometimes to be able to get deep, because it's deep inside the psoas. And a lot of back issues actually aren't from the back, it's from the psoas and the abdominal muscles that support the psoas not being developed enough. And so the incredible ability for the body to be so informative about what's going on in your outer world as well, where I really had to go in deep, 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 moving around and then seeing it and coming into it from another angle, seeing all the different sides instead of only being center focused on what I was either taught or what is taught from everyone else. You can choose for yourself. You do not have to take what someone else tells you as fact. You find for yourself. Your body may tell a different story than mine. Perfectly okay. You've been designed differently. Awesome. I never want you to ever feel like you have to share my design as fact. I'm not going to spell you like that. This is your choice. I don't want to be projecting spells on people that I'm like, you have to believe this. No, that's control, and I have let go of all of that. So now it's all about inviting you to see things from a different way. So it's all a part of your body map, right? Learning other maps just so that you can find the design in your own body for your own journey to healing. It doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to sound like mine, because your body is not my body. Your body is your body. And so if we're able to see other people's maps and how they've mapped certain things out, it's just like when you're following a map and oh, there's the mountains over here, and I forget what it's called. Not locations, landmarks. To find your way to a certain place, you watch for landmarks. So allow other people's mapping and teachings be landmarks for you. But don't make your map the same as theirs, because yours is completely your own. And it's so important. You have your own story to tell. You have your own map to design. You do not have to accept anyone else's as yours. That is how unique you are. That is how special you are. That is how special I am. And I spent a lifetime shape-shifting into other people's designs because I was uncomfortable with mine, standing fully in confidence, understanding that I was uniquely designed and there's nothing wrong with this design. It may look different than everyone else, but it's supposed to. Not one person has the same fingerprint. Not one leaf has the same design as another leaf. What are we doing? Trying to make everyone else look like us, sound like us, be like us. That would be incredibly freaking boring. So boring. Like, stop it. There is no ultimate. Can we choose to believe that there is so many different ways, because omnipresent and omnipotent is everything, everywhere, all at once, all the time, because Kairos time is not time like we experience it here. So please stop acting like there's only one way. The way you were designed knows the way. If you stop taking your information from everyone else, including me, please decide for yourself. You may think that you are not aware, but inside, if you quiet the noise, there is a multitude of information just waiting for you as the treasure that's been buried deep inside, waiting for you to crack open and receive all that you've been given. Sometimes there's so many things that has to happen in our life for we to even see what is valuable. For me, I've had to lose so much to gain so much, including 2 children. Do I wish that it did not take the death of my older 2 boys to crack me open so wide that I'd always questioned everything? I wish so much I would have embodied it before. But I'm also so grateful because I know that it is the way it is. And I surrendered to it. And that's what I've recently done. I'm like, something's changed in you, they've been saying. And it's like, I fully surrendered. It was a huge shift of that full acceptance and surrender. And so now I don't have the energy to lie to anyone, to wear a mask, or to change my verbiage, or to shorten my videos, or to edit my videos unless I'm creating art. I can't. And I ask for that. I want everything that doesn't serve me to be removed. You get what you ask for, and I'm so thankful for that. I just can't wear any mask anymore. Because it's the truth that's going to set you free. Your truth. If you're willing to dig, cut out the noise and dig. You've never been separate from the Creator. You just can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to close that for now. But because it's been almost 30 minutes now, and I was not expecting this, I'm hoping, I'm not even hoping, I know that it's going to get to the people that need to hear this the most. So I want to do a little bit of a prayer channel, see what comes through. healing for me be healing for you. May this healing for me be healing for you. May this healing for me be healing for you. After all that we've been through, it's okay. I love my baby. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, I'm just going to flow. I don't even know where this is going to go, but I'm just going to flow. That's all I can do right now. So much love, always.